Hey everyone, welcome back to the English Podcast. I'm James, and today Emma and I have an exciting conversation planned.
Absolutely. Today we're tackling a common issue. Why so many learners understand English perfectly, but freeze up when speaking.
I've heard that so many times. I can understand movies, songs, even podcasts, but when I try to talk, nothing comes out. Sound familiar?
Oh, yeah, big time. And honestly, I totally get it. It's like you've built the whole library in your head, but when you need a book, you can't find it.
That's a great way to put it. And I think it's something most learners face at some point. You're absorbing all this information, vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, but speaking just doesn't happen naturally.
Exactly. I mean, think about it. When you're watching a movie, you don't have to respond. You're just a sponge soaking it all in. But conversation? Whole different ballgame.
Yep. Suddenly your brain's trying to do 10 things at once. Find the right word, get the grammar right, pronounce it correctly, and all while keeping up with the other person.
And don't forget the pressure of not sounding silly. That fear is real.
Very real. But the good news is, you're not alone. And there are real practical things you can do to move from understanding to actually speaking.
That's what this episode's all about. We're breaking it down, sharing our own stories, and giving you tips you can start using today.
So, whether you're learning English to travel, get a better job, or just have more confidence in conversations, we've got you covered.
Buckle up, friends. It's gonna be fun, practical, and maybe even a little goofy. Let's get talking.
So, let's get into one of the biggest roadblocks I've seen with English learners: mental translation.
Oh, yeah, that's the sneaky trap where your brain keeps trying to turn everything into your native language first, right?
Exactly. I had a student once who was fluent when listening to podcasts, but every time she tried to speak, it was like her brain just froze.
Totally been there. When I was learning Spanish, I'd think in English first, try to translate it in my head, then speak in Spanish. By the time I opened my mouth, the moment had passed.
Right? It's like trying to text while running. You're multitasking too much, and the conversation gets clunky.
And the worst part? It made me second guess everything. Wait, is this the right word? Is the grammar correct? Ugh, exhausting.
So here's the thing: translation slows you down. It's like using training wheels when you're ready to ride.
I love that. You got the balance. You just need to trust yourself and go.
The solution is to start thinking directly in English. And I know that sounds intimidating, but it can start super small.
Like narrating your daily life. I'm brushing my teeth. Where are my keys? I used to do that all the time.
Bingo! No pressure. No grammar police. Just you and your thoughts in English.
And you can make it fun too. I'd pretend I was in a cooking show while making dinner. Now we add the garlic.
That's amazing. See? It's about creating low stress practice every day.
And the more you think in English, the faster your brain gets at pulling up words without translation.
Eventually, English becomes a natural part of how you express yourself. That's the real goal. Not perfect sentences, but fluent thinking.
So, to everyone out there, ditch the mental dictionary. You don't need it anymore.
Let English live in your head, rent-free. The less you translate, the more confident you'll become. All right, Emma, you ready to get a little sciencey?
Born ready. Let's nerd out. Lay it on me, Professor James.
Okay, so here's the deal. When it comes to language learning, listening and speaking are processed in different parts of the brain.
Really? I figured it was all jumbled together up there.
Most people do. But it turns out there's this amazing little area called Broca's area. It's the part that actually helps us speak.
Like physically form words?
Great, it's the speech production hub. And here's the kicker, it only gets better with practice. Just listening or reading doesn't train it much.
So that explains why someone can understand everything, but still can't talk smoothly.
Yep. Listening activates Wernicke's area, our comprehension center. But Broca's area, it's like a muscle. If you don't use it, it stays weak.
That's wild. So our brains are kind of like a gym for language?
That's the perfect metaphor. Listening is like watching workout videos. Speaking, that's when you actually lift the weights.
So if someone's only watching and listening, they're not getting the full workout.
Bingo. And that's why speaking can feel awkward at first. Your brain's still building those neural pathways, it hasn't wired them yet.
Okay, so it's not that I'm bad at English. My brain just hasn't built the right roads yet.
Yes, you're not broken, you're just under construction. And every time you speak, even with mistakes, you're paving those roads.
That's kind of comforting, actually. Like, it's supposed to feel messy at the start.
Totally. Think about toddlers. They babble for months before sentences make sense. But that's how they learn.
So, if we give ourselves that same grace, speaking will eventually feel easier.
Yeah, trust the process. The brain is amazing at adapting if you give it the chance.
All right, Broca's area, time to hit the gym. Okay, James, time to talk about something that trips up every language learner: fear.
Oh, yeah. Fear of saying the wrong thing, of sounding silly, of getting judged. It's like this invisible wall that blocks progress.
It's so real. When I was learning Italian, I'd get sweaty palms just ordering a coffee. I'd panic and end up mumbling or pointing.
I totally get that. I had a student who was brilliant, knew all the grammar rules, but hardly ever spoke because she was terrified of messing up.
And here's the kicker: we all make mistakes, even native speakers. I still mix up affect and affect sometimes.
Same here. And honestly, mistakes are part of the journey. They're not failures, they're little gold nuggets of learning.
I once told a French host that I was excitée to be at their party, which, let's just say, doesn't mean excited the way I thought it did.
Oh no, but I bet you never forgot that word after that, right?
Never again. It was mortifying, and also the best vocabulary lesson I've ever had.
That's the point. Mistakes help us remember, they help us improve. But if we let fear stop us from speaking, we miss all those opportunities.
And people are way nicer than we think. I've had locals gently correct me, laugh with me, even cheer me on for trying.
You're right, most people appreciate the effort. You're not on stage, you're connecting.
So here's what I do: I reframe mistakes. Instead of thinking, ugh, I messed up, I think, Cool, now I know what to work on.
That mindset shift makes all the difference. When you stop aiming for perfection, you start making progress.
So, if you're listening and you're scared of making mistakes, lean into them. They're your best teachers.
Speak, stumble, learn, repeat. That's how real fluency is built.
And hey, you might even collect some hilarious stories along the way.
Okay, Emma, it's time we talk about one of my absolute favorite techniques for improving speaking shadowing.
Ooh, yes! Shadowing is like the language learner's secret weapon. It's weird at first, but super effective.
For sure. For anyone wondering, here's how it works. You listen to a native speaker and try to speak along with them, almost like you're their echo.
Hence the name, shadowing. You're literally shadowing their speech. And not just the words, but the rhythm, the intonation, the pauses, all of it.
That's so true. It's more than just repeating, it's mimicking how they sound. You're training your mouth and ears at the same time.
I remember trying it with a scene from a British sitcom. I sounded like a total goof the first few times, but eventually I started catching their tone and slang. It actually felt fun.
That's the key. It's supposed to be a little playful. You're not trying to be perfect, you're trying to feel the language.
And it totally boosts your confidence. Like, suddenly you're saying complete sentences without thinking about grammar rules.
Right. Plus, it helps reduce the time gap between hearing and speaking. Your brain and tongue start syncing up.
Pro tip: choose a short clip, maybe 30 seconds or a minute. Practice it a few times, then move on.
And don't be afraid to pause and rewind. Break it down. Master the line, then go back and do it all again.
I even record myself sometimes. It's awkward hearing your voice at first, but wow, it helps you catch little things you didn't notice before.
Totally. You might realize you're stressing the wrong syllable or skipping over sounds.
And hearing your own progress is such a motivator. Like, hey, I actually sound kind of fluent there.
So if you're serious about sounding natural in English, add shadowing to your routine. It's fun, flexible, and super powerful.
Be your own English voice actor. Channel your inner movie star.
Lights, mic, shadow, let's get speaking.
All right. So you've been shadowing, thinking in English, maybe even talking to your mirror. But what about real conversations?
Ah, yes, the big leap. From solo practice to live interaction. That's where the magic really kick in.
Totally. I remember the first time I had to speak English with a native speaker. My brain went, "You're on your own now, good luck."
Been there. But here's the thing, real life practice doesn't have to be scary or awkward. In fact, it can be fun.
Definitely. Start by connecting your language learning with something you already enjoy, like cooking, photography, video games.
Right. One of my students loved anime, so they joined an online anime discussion group in English. Boom. Instant motivation.
I once signed up for a virtual cooking class that was taught in English. I learned how to make banana bread and practiced English at the same time. Win-win.
I love that. And don't forget language exchange apps. They're amazing for meeting people who are learning your native language while helping you with English.
Yup, I made a friend from Chile that way. We take turns, half an hour in English, half in Spanish. It's super chill and we both improve.
And if apps aren't your thing, try local meetups. Many cities have English conversation clubs, even for beginners.
Or check out online options like virtual language cafes or themed discussion rooms. You don't even have to leave your house.
And here's a tip: don't aim for perfect conversations, aim for connection. The goal is to communicate, not to impress.
Exactly. Think of it like a dance. Sometimes you step on toes, but you keep moving and having fun.
So, whether it's online in your community or even just chatting with a fellow learner, make speaking a social habit.
Practice makes progress, and connection makes it real.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So, Emma, we've talked about techniques and real life practice, but here's something a lot of learners overlook: consistency.
Oof, yep. It's not the flashiest topic, but man, is it important. You can have all the tools in the world, but if you're not using them regularly, no results.
Exactly. I like to say language learning is a lot like brushing your teeth. A little every day is way better than 3 hours once a week.
Ha, I love that. Fluency hygiene, anyone?
Hey, clean language habits are a thing. But seriously, the more often you speak, even if it's just a few minutes a day, the more natural it becomes.
I used to spend 5 minutes a day practicing basic phrases out loud in front of the mirror. Stuff like, "Where's the nearest bus stop?" or "I'd like a coffee with milk, please."
That's such a smart move. Those everyday phrases become automatic. You don't have to think about them. They're just there when you need them.
Right. And they're like little confidence boosters. Once I mastered the simple stuff, I felt braver trying out more complex sentences.
That's the secret: stack small wins, build on them. Pretty soon, those little phrases become full conversations.
Another trick I used was keeping a language log. Just a notebook where I jot down words I used that day or something new I learned.
I love that. It keeps you accountable and shows your progress over time. Sometimes you don't realize how far you've come until you look back.
You're right. And don't worry if some days feel slow. Even 5 minutes of speaking out loud or thinking in English adds up.
Think of consistency like watering a plant. A little every day keeps it growing. Miss too many days and, well, the plant wilts.
So feed your English plant, people.
Best advice ever. Fluency grows with regular care and attention. All right, friends. We've covered a lot of ground today, from shadowing and chunking to overcoming fear and practicing in the real world.
Seriously, we've packed in some gold here. If you've been listening and feeling overwhelmed, don't worry. Let's break it down into simple takeaways.
Love that. First big one: stop translating in your head. Start thinking in English, even if it's just little everyday thoughts.
Like, "I'm making lunch," or "This elevator music is awful."
Hey, it all counts. The more you do it, the more automatic English becomes.
Second, don't fear mistakes. They're your best teachers. If you say something weird or funny, awesome. You'll remember it forever.
I still remember saying, I am a pineapple in Spanish by accident. No regrets, I learned.
Third tip, use shadowing. It's like karaoke with purpose. Mimic native speakers, get that rhythm and intonation, and you'll sound more natural fast.
Fourth, get into real conversations. Whether it's a language exchange partner, an online group, or just talking to your dog, speaking out loud is key.
Shout out to all the pets helping us with language practice.
And fifth, consistency, consistency, consistency. Even just 5 minutes a day will move the needle.
Progress doesn't have to be big or flashy. Just keep going, keep showing up.
And here's something I want everyone to hear. Fluency isn't a destination, it's a journey. You're not behind, you're on your way.
Amen to that. And the more you enjoy the ride, the easier it gets. Make it fun, get creative, celebrate your wins, no matter how small.
We're rooting for you. Seriously, and we're right here with you on this journey.
So go out there, speak with courage, laugh at your mistakes, and keep learning.
Until next time, keep practicing, keep believing, and most of all, keep speaking.
Bye for now, language rock stars. You've totally got this.